Right, welcome back everybody. It is now Thursday morning. Just been to Wickes for a few supplies. The old cheap masonry brush. They're not the best, but when you've got nothing, it's better than nothing. Look, what does that remind you of? See that sticky up bristle? What does that remind you of? I wonder. Anyway, yeah, been to Wickes for some supplies. Got a brush, some more rubbish bags, and a little small tarpaulin. Not interesting, I know, but you know, sometimes you just got to go and buy these things, haven't you? I've got plaster on, I've got PVA on. I've got a little house just a few yards there. They want every ceiling skimmed in it, all artex, and I think I looked at this about 3 weeks ago, and they're quite small rooms, I think, so nothing too taxing for my old body today. I think the kitchen was the biggest room, but they've had the boiler, well, they were just about to have the boiler swapped. And then the boiler people have realised there's a bit of asbestos behind the boiler, so of course the whole thing is gone like DEFCON 1. Everything's been shut down, locked down. You're not allowed in your own kitchen. I do agree, obviously asbestos is a deadly thing, but sometimes I do think that a sort of industry has been made out of fear for people. So I'm not knocking the safety of asbestos, but you know, when the men in white suits come in and charge a fortune to take down an artex ceiling that we would generally rip down, and I have been ripping down since 1988, that's where I feel like the industry of fear has been moved in. I used to work on a firm, and we used to have to test these samples, and they get sent off to a lab, and if it came back positive, we would have to leave that job to the men in white suits to come in, take down all the artex ceiling, and then we would go back and board it. But once we went back to board it, they'd leave all the corners in, they'd leave all the shit on top of the joists. They wouldn't hoover them off. You know, they're getting paid a small fortune, I would imagine, to take this deadly stuff away. But then we would go in and really be left with the dust. So it makes you think, how deadly is it really, you know? Anyway, not going to go on too much about that, because I'm sure people out there will contradict everything I'm saying. But I just feel sorry for these poor people. They've moved in this house, young couple of kids. They want to get the thing going, and then suddenly they've been bolted with a massive bill for asbestos. Right, let's go and have a look. In the front door we go. Shut the front door behind me. We've got a little porch ceiling here. I do hope these spotlights pull out okay, and I've just had these done. So we've got that. We've got a tiny little downstairs toilet ceiling. We've got, let's take in the lounge first. We've got a lounge where the electricians have had a right old go. So that's that. We've got a conservatory with nothing in it, thank God. Just the usual suspects on the staircase down here, a couple of little tiny ceilings down here. Then we've got landing ceiling, not too bad really, not too bad to reach. Ladders and a couple of boards will sort that out. It's always nice when you've got these, because you can use these to your advantage, you know, put the ladders up there, scaffold board off of here at the height you need it, so that's alright. And then we've got some little rooms, so little bedrooms really. So none of these ceilings are too much to worry about. Little ceiling here. Another little ceiling here. They've got built-in wardrobes, but I think I haven't priced to do inside that, so I don't think I will. Then we've got a little bathroom here. So nothing major, all standard stuff. Hopefully the artex is okay. I'll hold on to the plaster and won't start bubbling away. Otherwise that's disaster area. And then just a couple of little chases to make good. So yeah, all simple stuff really. Anyway, let's get set up and crack on. And I think I'll take these two back rooms out first, because the sun it's beaming through into that room, and I don't really want that in there. So hopefully, if I get these 2 rooms done, then the sun will move around, and then I can move around with the sun. Right, let's get set up. Okay, so we will start off in the usual way. Same old routine, nothing ever changes. And that is get your gear in, or as much as you need at the minute. Get all these lights down and stuff. Then get the ceiling scraped down. Get your PVA on it or whatever you're going to use. And then you can start getting the other bits in while that's drying. So I know I'm probably, teaching you how to suck eggs here, but always use the drying time for your advantage. It's never worth watching the drying time, standing there waiting for PVA to go off. So just do the bare minimum before you have to get the PVA on. And once that's on, your mind is in that mindset of, it's all prepared, I can now get my plastering, get my tools in, and then you can mix up and go. So that's the way I've always done it. You just try and make out your workflow so it is continuation. You don't ever really want to stop. And I must say that artex is scraping down superb. It's really coming back nice. When it's just a little bit bumpy, there's no real ridges in it. So if we've got that going on for the whole house, then we're laughing. I'll come back to you. You don't want to see me doing this. You've seen it all before, I'm sure. So in here, I've got a little mixture of PVA and SBR, I think. And I did put a little bit of brick dye in it, so that's why it's going to be a little bit pinky. Now, oh, for fuck's sake, what a fucking idiot I am. When you wash your roller out and you think you've spun it out enough, and then you do that. Not a problem, not a problem. You've washed your roller out, you spun it out, you got all the water out, but there's always going to be a bit more in it. So that first few rolls, you've got to really do it gentle, otherwise if you push like normal, that happens. So I will be in here today, tomorrow, and Monday. I would ideally have liked to have been in here all weekend to get it done for them, but I am going up to Leicestershire for the weekend to help number one son. We're digging for drainage for a new downstairs toilet, and there's loads to do up there, but that's the main part of the journey, for reason for going up there, and then we can do other bits if we get time. I think we've got a skylight to put into an existing roof extension. So I'll hopefully be driving up there Friday night and working Saturday and Sunday. Come back Sunday evening, straight back into here again. So time's just gonna go like that, Next room. Oh my God, what's the gate? Right, let's get on. What am I doing? Screwdriver. I'm all over the place this morning. Gotta get my head in the game, man. Right, now these are only small, these 2 rooms, so I'll be doing both ceilings at once. I like my ceilings like I like my women. 2 at a time. Oh, behave. In my dreams. These bloody electricians. They put these lights in. They don't put no raw plugs in these ceilings. It's just straight in with the screws. $3.50 a day these electricians want. They can't even put 2 raw plugs in the ceiling. You are a disgrace, Father. You dirty old man. It's not bad, actually. I haven't done him for years, old Harry H. Corbett. Half of you won't even know who he is. But if you do, you do. Let's try him again. You dirty old man, you disgust me, you really do. That ain't bad, is it? That ain't bad. It's one to work on. Now he's only been dead for like 45 years. It's one to work on, I think. Still trying to work on Trump, but that's, I don't know, I can't get the Trump. I can get the odd word, but I can't get it flowing. Andy Burnham he's quite, there's nothing really there to pick out from Andy Burnham, is there? Not like old Starmer, he had a little bit more of something to sort of pick out if you're trying to do impressions of him. A bit like Cameron. Cameron was like that. There was no real thing to pick out for David Cameron for impressions. So whenever you did hear anyone doing impressions of Cameron, it was basically just a posh voice, really. Not like, you know, some of the other prime ministers. They've all got something about them, haven't they? You go back, you think, actually Blair was a little bit just a posh voice, but there was, you could nail a Blair, you could get it. He was a little bit more, there's a little bit of a campness to Blair's voice. His S's, and he was just a little bit camp sounding, I think. Thatcher was obviously, you know, everyone could do a Thatcher at one point. Everyone was doing the Thatcher. She was very easy to do. Just had to sort of do that voice, really, you know, like a sighing sort of voice. John Major was just like the generic nerd. So he was quite easy to do. Oh, let's go back. Let's go back before Thatcher. Now, before Thatcher, was that... When did Thatcher come into power? Was it early 80s? So I would have been maybe 11 then. So before Thatcher, we had... Now, was it Harold Wilson before Thatcher? Was Harold Wilson the one that... Did he used to smoke the pipe? Because all I can see is Mike Yarwood now doing the Harold Wilson. This is where my knowledge of the other prime ministers and the other people in you know, political parties pre-80s, I only got my information from probably watching Mike Yarwood do impressions of him. So Harold Wilson, I think he was a bit like that. He would just stand like talk like that sort of thing. But then I get him mixed up with Eddie Waring, because Mike Yarwood used to do a lot of Eddie Waring, and Eddie Waring was a rugby commentator, wasn't he? I think. You know, the old up and under, which sort of morphed into like a bit of a Harold Wilson, I think. Anyway, I'm making myself look a right prat here, but I used to really enjoy, you know, the impressionist shows when I was a kid. I was always fascinated by anyone that could do impressions of people. You don't see it so much now. You know, obviously you can't just take the piss out of people now. But in the 70s and 80s, there was always an impressionist thing. Oh, there was loads. Phil Cool, do you remember Phil Cool? If you want to see the best Ralph Harris impression, have a look for Phil Cool.
And meanwhile, the poor lorry driver, he shits himself. Bits of shit. Yeah, still a bit of shit. Split it down.
Right, let's turn this off now. You've seen me do this. You've heard me waffle. I'll get set up with the plaster, we'll get that mixed up, and I'll come back to you. That's the first ceiling done. Just got to have one little quick polish. Doesn't even need that yet, but I'll do that. That's that one done. Didn't film much of that, just wanted to get on. And then I've got this one prepared, and this little bathroom prepared. So I'm going to just chuck them on, get them on today. So I know there are only 3 small ceilings, but I'd rather have one ceiling 3 times, you know, as big as all these put together, really. Because it's 3 ceilings, but it's 3 lots of perimeter. It's 3 lots of lights. It's 3 lots of first coat, second coat. So it's a pain, really. It just takes time. That's not really hard work, you know, it's quite easy to do. It's time consuming. I was going to chuck that room on and that room on all at the same time, but I just thought, what's the point? Because I knew I wanted to get that little bathroom on as well. So it's not worth chucking 2 of the bigger rooms on, struggling, when I'm going to be sitting there watching the bathroom do its own thing. So I just thought I'd get that room done, which is the bigger one. Well, it's the second biggest room. The big room is the one behind. And so that was the second biggest room. Now I'm going to do the box room and the bathroom. And I'll get on with that now, I think. Right, let's get in the mix and I'll come back to you. 3:30 now and I'm still working. Something is not right today. That can just dry nicely overnight then. So these green Hamilton rollers, these Hamilton Perfection rollers are green ones, are definitely the best. Not a bad day's work there, I don't think. It's pushed the job on a lot there. Ceiling number 1, ceiling number 2, number 3, and a little bit of making good up there. That PVA can pick up overnight and it'll have a quick one in the morning, and I'll get straight on and knock this ceiling out. I'll see you back there in the morning. I'll be cracking on. First thing, straight in the mix. I've got to pop some wicks first, but I'll be straight in the mix, get that big ceiling on and done. Anyway, I will see you all tomorrow.